So like with most MAFEX, there's a chance that this is really, really good, or it could be really, really bad. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Medicom MAFEX Suicide Squad Joker. Now we know Figure Arts is making Suicide Squad figures. We know MAFEX is making Suicide Squad figures. It's kind of a choice between the two. MAFEX a little bit untrustworthy when it comes to the QC department. Figure Arts usually come out damn beautiful. But I didn't like the Figure Arts Joker. It's in the white suit and he looks just kind of bored. It's unexciting when it comes down to it. But the MAFEX, it seems more visually stimulating. I felt like this action figure would pop on the shelf a little bit more than the other. But I'm also rolling the dice because I don't know if it's going to stay together. I don't know if the joints are going to be tight. Looking at the box, it's the usual MAFEX fare. Huge ass window on the front. You pretty much see everything you get in the package. The hands, the cane, the gun, the heads, the body. Little graphic at the bottom, MAFEX. I like the green background here. It's simple, but it makes the figure stand out against it. On the side, we get a pretty picture of the figure. On the back, a bunch of action shots. We get the Suicide Squad logo. On the other side, another logo, another close-up shot of the figure. Top, Suicide Squad, DC. Bottom, a bunch of unreadables. It's probably like warning. This figure's either going to kill you or annoy the hell out of you. And that could go for either the Suicide Squad, Joker, or MAFEX. It kind of fits all the way around. So good warning down here. I was hoping that Figure Arts Harley would come out at the same time. I could put them together, do some kind of comparison there. And they did come out nearly at the same time. Harley came out right after this. And I paid for the Harley, but then HLJ went on holiday, and they just shipped Harley yesterday. So probably going to be another 10 days before I can do that comparison between the two. Which sucks, but what can you do? But I'm going to get this open and see how Joker is. And there we go, all out of the package. And while this isn't the usual MAFEX QC standards, in fact, it's pretty awesome from a QC standpoint, the actual decisions made in the engineering of this figure kind of knocks it down a couple of notches. And that's not to say it's a bad figure, but I'll explain after I go through the look of the figure. Looking at the figure, it's a beautiful sculpt. I think it's the white of the skin that kind of blows the sculpt out a little bit. Whenever you try to take pictures of it or you're looking at it in a harsh light maybe, the white is kind of blinding and it kind of just makes all the sculpting detail disappear into it. But once you get up on it, you start examining really closely, the sculpt is there. Looking under the jacket, there's some sculpted muscles, the wrinkles on the pants, his little toesies, the fingers, the face, the hair. It may be just a little bit soft, but the sculpted detail is nice for the most part. And then you get to the jacket and it's the alligator skin or lizard skin or whatever it is. I'm not a jacket aficionado. The sculpt there is really super nice. For the paints themselves, the base colors are kind of plain. His skin, like I said, on top of it being white, there's not a lot of painted detail there to bring out the sculpt. It's just a flat sea of white. But then you get to the eyes, there's kind of a purple fade around it. It's a little bit deeper than what we saw in the promotional pictures, but it's still nice. It adds a little different dimension of color to the face. The pants are a straight color. The Arkham stamp on the side of the pants is there. It's just got some cracks in it. Another drawback here is the actual trench coat. It gives him traffic cone syndrome, where everything is kind of trapped under this jacket. There's a lot of nice articulation, but you can't get to it because this is not really a soft material. It flexes, but it's not as flexible as it should be. It's a hindrance more than it's a help. Don't get me wrong, it looks great. It's just in the way. My other big thing here is if you get too crazy with the arms, they tend to pop out. It's just a ball joint going into the torso. It's not a huge deal, but you'll notice it whenever you try to get some poses where you're trying to reach across and it just pops out of socket. But those popping out of socket also helps you get a look at the tattoos. The tattoos are really the high point here. It's just nice and detailed. The cards up on his neck, the haha gesture right here, the Joker, the smile, even on his face where the J is right there and then the damaged across the forehead, it's legible. Lastly, the feet are kind of small. They may be realistic, but when you have the traffic cone sitting over him and you have his arms on and you're trying to get a balanced stance, when you're trying to stand him, he tends to fall back a little bit. And just like always, as soon as I'm on camera, it doesn't do it. But he is a little bit back heavy. But going over articulation, there's a ball at the top of the neck and at the bottom of the neck. Now with this head, it's really tight on there, so you can't get a lot of side to side, and there's not a lot of movement at the top of the neck. But at the bottom, you get a pretty good range of movement there. Forward, back, side, side. You get rotation. The shoulders are a ball going into the torso, coming out to a hinge and swivel, so you have some rotation there. Here, this will be easier to show you without the jacket. You have some rotation there, and then you have the hinge and swivel at the end. You can get, well, there you go, up and around. It's just that is going to be in the way a little bit. You have a swivel at the bicep. You have a double elbow, and it doesn't go quite as far as it shows on the package. He can't get up to put his hands behind his head. That's about as close as he gets. And with the jacket, it's even worse than that. But the picture on the back here shows quite a bit more range of movement. I don't know, maybe it's the angle, but I feel like that's more angled. Plus you can see where his hands are on his head. You just can't do that with the actual figure. So it's not all the way up, but it does get past 90. Not a bad range of movement. The wrists are swivel, hinge, swivel. You can swivel it in there and you can get it any direction to hinge whatever direction you want to go. The mid-torso and then the waist are both balls. You can get forward and back and a little bit of side to side and then rotation. In fact, there's that. It's a dumbbell joint with a ball joint up at the top and then ball socket down at the bottom. And then at the waist, you get forward, back, side, side, all the way around. A little bit of rotation. Both of those together, he gets a great range of movement. The legs have a drop down joint. They seem a little bit loose. They glide a little bit too easy up and down. Here, in fact, you can pretty much pop the whole figure apart. I'm going to be down to just limbs here in a minute. You can see that swivel joint up and down, and then a ball on the end of that. And then the socket in the leg accepts this ball, and then there's a swivel there. Swing down, you can get forward, you can get back, you can get out. The crotch piece is a rubbery piece. You can kind of see the sheen difference between here and here. Like I said, you have a swivel up at the top, but it mostly rotates on the ball. Single knee gets up a little past 90. You have rotation at the bottom of the pants. You have a hinge at the ankle, gets forward that much, gets back that much. Forward facing pin for rocker. Toe joint gets up to about right there. I'm afraid to push it too much because MAFEX. For accessories, he comes with his standard staring, serious head. But for an alternate head, he comes with an open mouth, crazy, screaming top head. For hands in the package, he comes with 2 fists. And the thing about these hands, he's got the suits of the card deck on his right hand on the fingers. Again, these are applied really well. And he has the big smile tattoo on all the left hands. He comes with 2 splayed open hands really far, and then a set of hands that are not quite as splayed, but they're still open, kind of relaxed, I guess. He comes with 2 grip hands, and then he comes with 2 trigger finger hands. Now the hands, I have seen some horror stories about the peg breaking. There may be just a very slight lip, but most of the holes are really tight to push the hands on. They've loosened up after I've messed with them a little bit, but you want to be really careful. Especially with the trigger finger hand. The hole isn't exactly centered, so it kind of shoots off down the back of the hand. So you've got to go in kind of crooked with it. Don't try to push it straight on. Also with the left hand, he does that pose in the movie where he puts the smile over his face. It looks like he's got a crazy smile to it. You can kind of get it angled a little bit to where it kind of looks like it. Maybe right there, but you're not actually in front of the face because of the limited elbow movement. Okay, after messing with it a little bit longer, I've already finished the review. I was playing with the figure, trying to figure out some other poses and stuff, and I did get the hands closer to the head. This head gets a little bit more range of movement, so when I kick the neck forward and then crank the head back, he kind of shifts forward a little bit more. And I also faked it a little bit by having the arms forward a little bit, so it gets closer to the center of the figure. On that same note, having the hand in front of the mouth, this face works a little bit better because it kicks forward a little bit more. That, I can touch the face with the hand. It's still a little bit hard to line up, but it works a little bit better. And then for other accessories, he comes with a cane. It's kind of plain. It's not the purple color. It's kind of a violet, and then it's got gold accents on it. And it's just slightly rubbery, but I wouldn't want to get too crazy with it. I don't feel like breaking any of the accessories, but there is some flex to it. And he comes with his pistol. Again, it's not purple, it's kind of a violet color, and then it has the white grip and then some gold accents all over it. For comparison, here he is with the Marvel Legends Black Panther, and this is a good size. Joker's about the same height. His proportions are a little bit smaller, but he's not supposed to be as muscled as some of the characters that this body goes on. Here he is with the DC Collectibles Icons Joker, a little bit bigger, but if you have an overall Joker shelf, this will work pretty good. Not that I have an overall Joker shelf or anything. And then finally, here he is with the SH Figure Arts Iron Man 3 Tony Stark. So at the end of the day, I don't regret this purchase. I'm actually happy with another MAFEX figure. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Saying that, I haven't bought every MAFEX release in the past few months. I've heard some not so great tales about the Wonder Woman that came out, but come around to this Joker and I'm good. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some QC issues. I've seen some breakage on the wrist pegs and they are really thin. If you get this figure, be careful with that. There's been a couple times that I was pushing the hand on and I thought, oh, I'm about to break it. But thankfully it hasn't. And then there's a little looseness in the hip and the hindrance of the overall trench coat. It's not a super great action figure, but for a Suicide Squad Joker, I'm good with this. I feel like I don't have to get the figure arts now. Now the arms popping out as easy as they do makes me kind of wish for down the line that they release bare arms. I've seen Medicom solicit that a couple of times in the past year. I think Nightmare Batman's supposed to come with a couple of parts that go with the armored Batman, and then I think the gold dress Harley that comes out after the standard Harley comes with parts for the standard Harley. I just don't know if extra arms would be a practical addition to future figures. But I think that would put this over the top for me. Bare chest, bare arms, purple hand. I would display it like that. And that's not to say the purple trench coat doesn't look great. It does look great. But it hides what could be, I guess you could say. So yeah, MAFEX gets another check mark in the good column. Hopefully they can keep this up because I have more than a few Star Wars releases pre-ordered. And then the Harley, if it's nice, I'd like to have the gold dress Harley. And then, like I said, the other version of Joker that's coming in MAFEX. I only got the Figure Arts Harley because, oh my god, that thing looks amazing. But just in case they don't fit together, I kept the MAFEX Harley on pre-order because money is apparently my arch enemy. I don't like looking at it. I don't like seeing it. It makes me mad when it's in the wallet. I just want rid of it. I just want to get rid of all of it as soon as I make it, and might as well spend it on plastic. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.